All right, folks, we're getting ready to start this pull-off.
Feel good, I'm ready to go.
During the summer, Travis loves to get out and tear up the dirt in his pulling truck. Last event, he wasn't so lucky, losing by inches to the Roach Coach.
He beat me, didn't he?
Roach, Travis?
You beat me, boy, you beat me.
And of course, bad luck follows him around in the name of Officer Joe.
Coomer, don't be doing that now. What you got in this jug here?
Which is why he's doing his best to work with a distiller to get his moonshine legal. Maybe that will eventually get old Joe off his back.
In order to make money, Travis Coomer drills oil wells, searching for that black gold buried deep in the soil. And Travis can't make his money unless he's pumping crude. And Travis ain't winning truck pulls. You know just what he's gonna do. Yeah, black gold and moonshine, make it shine every day. And the right way is a hard way. He's gotta pull that way. 'Cause that's a black gold moonshiner way.
Before going on any trips, Travis has a lot to do to get his bus ready. It's not the most reliable.
Why, these old buses, you know, they just a cheap way to go to a truck pull. They got everything you need. These old school buses, you buy them for $2,500. Why would you want to spend $60,000 for a trailer and a big truck to go to truck pull? You got seating, lots of room, air conditioning, cut out for the truck. Anybody can drive them, and it consumes a lot of oil and water. Well, every 4 or 5 pulls, you put some water in, but I can't ever find no leak. Ready for B.O.B., Battle of Bluegrass, Franklin, Indiana. 200 miles, 4 hours in that old hot bus. But I like it. Pulling since back in the 80s. We've always done it as a family thing. It's a lot of fun to take your grandkids to the fair and ride the Ferris wheel or the merry-go-round with the grandchildren. But now them wild rides, I can't do them no more. The zippers, scramblers, and Ferris wheel. Now all I can ride is the merry-go-round.
Looks like a damn fair to me.
I got a 2010 Chevrolet truck called Pro Stop 2-wheel drive. Used to run a 5,800-pound modified truck, but now they call it 58 Pro Stop. It's been a good truck, but for this pull, I wish it was bigger. The weight is very important. We got to weigh these trucks, make sure they all weigh the same, because if a man weighed another 100 or 200 pounds, it would be a big difference in how far you pull the sled. We weigh 5,500 when we pull an outlaw. When we come up here and run B.O.B. and KTPA, we run 5,800 pounds. So that extra weight makes you pull a little better if you got enough horsepower to turn the tires. Time to sign my life away and draw my number. Wait, no, buddy. We draw a number and that tells you where you line up at. I got a big 6. When I draw the 6, that means I line up, I pull the sixth place. I think that's a 9, ain't it? Don't ride the Ferris wheel? Why, you can go to a truck pull and meet people that you used to pull with 20 years ago, and it's just fun to go to a truck pull. When y'all building a new truck, do y'all use this core support?
Well, no, not on our super stock trucks.
See, my truck got a post coming off. I put a big old flat piece of metal on it. You see how I done that?
On yours?
Yeah, you need to look at that. Probably help you on when you get ready to build one. You can look at somebody else's truck and get a little bit of idea of what you need to do. All of them basically the same. See, that front's new. I got a grinder that work on with, but I ain't worked on none this year. I have hung some weight right in here before, and right there. Oh, there's a lot of little things that you can do that put you ahead of that other guy. I'm thinking about moving that tank and putting me a hitch up to right there. Just ain't done it.
You know, if you do it, somebody else will do it with you.
Why, I guarantee it, yeah. That'd be all right.
It's hard for the guys not to ask Travis about the old oil stories, and he just loves to tell them. They're mostly true.
All my stories are true.
Sorry, carry on.
Thank you. We hit a little oil there that evening, that morning, at 500 and some feet, and we took it to 1100, I believe. And then next morning, that old driller, he come in about 6, 7 o'clock and started drilling. About 9, why, he called me and said he's blowing a 4-inch stream of oil hitting the Murfreesboro. And I jumped up and run over, and sure enough, he was. Hell, his oil going everywhere. Pulled everything out of the hole and put it on pump that day. I was going in the tank that night. By dark, was going in the tank. Makes 30 barrel a day.
How many?
30.
Shanner out of Greenwood be the first one up.
What are they running first?
Straight diesel.
I'm gonna go up there and watch them. They see what that track's doing. Up there where we beat y'all boys tonight.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Travis does his best to outpull the bigger trucks at Battle of the Bluegrass. Coomer's Country is being brought to you by Black Gold Moonshine, real Kentucky moonshine made the right way. And by Bit Brokers, tricones, hole openers, cutters, and more. Don't drill without Bit Brokers. Oldham County Tourism, 3 bourbon brands, horse farms, and 30 trains a day. Jeffrey Machine, the world's largest privately owned auger company. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation. As we join Travis back at the truck pull, we find him keeping his eye finely tuned to the track. What's he looking for?
So Indiana dirt, brown. Red clay's best to run on. That old brown dirt don't hook as good as clay. Run more weight on the back on a deal like this.
Not running this track much, so he spends some time watching the 4-wheel drive class run to see how the dirt reacts.
Well, you know, you can look at that old track and find some soft spots in it and hard spot. You're better off finding a hard spot. You'll get a little better bite. You know, if you got something that's biting a lot harder, you got to run more weight on the front. And if it ain't biting as good, you got to run it on the back, get traction, get out of the hole, you know, and get down the track. There at that tar, watch the dirt, see it pumping? Well, it just makes it soft under there. Ain't a real good track, you know, it ain't like good hard red clay. There's no better guy to ask where's the best place to run on the track except a guy that's building that track. Where's the best part on that track at?
Right now, they ain't none.
That's what I thought. Wouldn't it be better to start up on that hump?
Yeah, up on the hump, head to that right side. It's a little bit damper on that right side, but there's a bite up there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're a little high right over there. It looks like they're pulling this sled out of a hole right here, get a takeoff. Hell, what do I know? I knew he wouldn't tell me much, but I know it was worth a try. I guess I'm gonna run right yonder on that little ridge right yonder probably, or maybe a little further over one.
How come they didn't put no water on it?
I don't know. You don't want it real dry, you know, they damp and roll it in, put water on it and roll it in, makes a better track to pull on. 6 was the lowest number draws, so I get to pull first. Time to hit the scale. This event, we're looking for 5,800 pounds. I was close, but I decided to take some weight off the back. How'd you do? Any bite? No bite. I better put some weight on the back. Put the weight on the back if you got a kind of a bad track and you give it a little bit more traction, get you out of the hole a little better. This will keep my back tires more firmly planted to the ground. It's pull time. They waiting on me. I'm a first truck to pull, so it really makes me second guess my weight.
Good luck.
Yeah, boy. Yep. This old sled hook in the hole, won't it?
I only ran here but one time, and I went out of bounds to the left, which I was scooting along pretty good. But
I ought to move some of that up, I guess, on that back thing.
how many?
I don't know, probably. Last moment decision. I'm gonna move some weight forward. Second guessing. I think I spend more time trying to figure out where to put this 10-pound of weight than I do where I drill my oil wells at. Where's the track the best at? By me being the first hook, I got the option to drop and come back and pull last, or I can keep that pull. 304, and I'm keeping it. I could have probably maybe bettered it by putting some more weight on the back, but the old track ain't no count out there, and it hit the peel. I'm gonna just keep it. My distance was pretty good, so it ain't no need to put more wear on my truck. I'd have done better, but this Hoosier dirt ain't worth the crap.
When they hit that soft spot, they don't go no very far.
No, I know it. I should have dropped that and put some more weight on the back, but
I don't know.
hell, I done got my old truck warm coming around here. And I didn't break my buggy to pull it with this time. They went in the lead, didn't they?
Yeah, 305, you're 304.
Yeah. I need me some Kentucky clay. Now I'm in second place. And then here come them Hardin boys with high voltage moonshine mini. They put me way behind. Nancy Wilson, with a little coaching from her husband, she made a great pull. It's fun coming out here pulling for these guys, but my truck's way overmatched here. They 600 cubic inch and I'm 470. Their old truck's a lot longer. I believe a hitch is raising on that truck. I'm just way overmatched here. Give me another second, I can think of some more excuses.
As the fair spins into the night, Travis heads out. Tomorrow, we stop in at the local distillery and get a quick tour. Coming up on Coomer's Country. Being on the road, Travis had a great opportunity to pop into Three Boys Farm Distillery and meet up with David Adams.
Who's David Adams? He's the man that's mass producing my black gold moonshine.
Well, how you doing there, Travis? I haven't seen you in a while.
How you, buddy?
I'm doing great.
That's
good to see you.
Yeah, boy, good to see you. Yeah. Oh man, this distillery, it's huge. I'm used to a shed in the woods. Looks like y'all got a nice distiller here.
Yes, sir. This is where we operate almost every day. Actually, right over here is where the whole process begins. You want me to give you a little tour?
Yeah, please. I'd like to look at this. It's always fun to watch somebody else make their bourbon and moonshine.
This is actually the beginning of the whole process right here. So what we got here, we got one chute we bring the corn into, and the other one we bring the rye in. We'll run the auger up to the hammer mill that's way up top, and it'll come down into the hopper, and then we'll weigh it, and then we'll drop it into this bin, and this auger will take it right on up to the cooker. This is about what our grind looks like when it comes out of there.
Okay, yeah.
We get it to a nice, fine consistency.
It's interesting to see how other people do it.
Gives us better extraction.
A lot of time I'll put my corn through an old set of burrs and grind my corn like they did old cornmeal, and sometimes I'll just kind of use whole grain corn.
Once we grind the corn and it comes up this auger right here, it'll flow in from right here. Depending on the mash bill, we'll have a certain amount of water in there already heated up, and we'll start mixing the corn in there. And we'll let that corn cook for a while so we can break down the starches. Essentially, starch is a sugar.
Sweet, I like sugar.
But we need to make that long strand of starch a fermentable sugar by breaking down those strands, and we do that by adding enzyme.
Enzymes? I should have stayed awake in the chemistry class.
That enzyme comes from malt.
I don't think I even took chemistry. I hated English.
Malt has amylases that essentially chop that long strand into little pieces.
Amyloses. Are you taking notes? I might need you after a while for a test.
The starch is a big fish and the yeast is a little fish. Well, we need to make that big fish little for the little guy to feed on.
Soon have a big fish myself, man, I'm getting hungry.
Then we start the process of cooling everything down.
Okay, where we go from here then? Where you go with that after you get done with it here?
Well, once we get everything in here cooled down to temp, after the cook is completely done, then we'll pump it from here over to one of these fermenters. And what we got here is a rye mash that was started about 4 days ago, so it's about 2/3 of the way through. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind is we have to really watch the acidity level, the pH level of the mash, because if we don't have a low enough pH level, then we'll end up fighting bacteria and wild yeast.
Wild yeast? That got me thinking about a wild beast. Now, my grandpa Page, back in, well, way back in the day when he made moonshine, he kept his barrels buried underground. That's where he fermented his beer at, you know, before he put it in his still.
And that's exactly why he was doing it. He was keeping the temperature down.
Yeah. Well, see, he was doing it out in the woods, and one time he told me he had a batch ready to run off, and he come up there, and it was 2 or 3 old hogs that come up there and drank his mash, and I guess he got drunk, fell off in there and drowned it. I said, well, what'd you do, Pa? He said, well, I just drug them old hogs out there and went ahead and run it off. But he don't never, you know, he just had it buried and didn't have no top on it.
I'm sure it had a curious taste when it was done.
I'd say it did, yeah.
Bacon flavored, I guess.
Bacon flavored, probably, yeah.
Now that's some shine I'd like to try. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Coomer's Country is being brought to you by Black Gold Moonshine, real Kentucky moonshine made the right way. Bit brokers, tricones, hole openers, cutters, and more. Don't drill without bit brokers. Truck Claws, get your truck unstuck. Jeffrey Machine, the world's largest privately owned auger company. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
And this is where the final step is, Travis.
Okay.
What we've got here is a Kentucky Special Vendome steel.
Vendome steel.
Made right there in Louisville, Kentucky, and they make the Cadillac steels.
Cadillac of the steels, I guess that's still in the woods like an old beat up white truck that I'm still driving. But I'm getting where I'm going.
Essentially what happens, we'll pump the mash. We have a 1,200 gallon fermenter, and this holds about half of that. So we'll put half of that fermenter into the steel, we'll heat it up. As we know, different chemicals have lower boiling points. Your more poisonous chemicals come off, luckily, way earlier than the alcohol comes off. And as long as we keep the whole mash under 212 degrees and above 172, 174 degrees, we'll be pulling ethyl alcohol, which is what we want.
Yeah, okay.
Anything before that, is trash that goes into the heads, and you can clean floors with it. But we'll start here, and if you look at the column above it,
Okay.
you'll see each one of those windows has plates in there. Each one of those plates represents another point of distillation, so it adds more refining to it, and it creates reflux, and reflux will cause that alcohol that's gathered there in droplets to drop back down, and you get more and more distillation cycles, so you get a much cleaner, better tasting product. When it finally rolls out at the top, you'll see that tube that's horizontal.
Yeah.
That's a condenser.
Okay.
And it takes that steam vapor, as it shrinks that steam down back into a liquid, well, that steam coming into a smaller area creates a vacuum. So you essentially have a steam building pressure, the condenser shrinking down, creating a vacuum, and it creates a zero atmosphere system that has a positive flow towards this whiskey safe.
Did you get all that? You know there's gonna be a test later.
Inside, you'll see compartments here where we'll control the flow, where heads will go here, hearts, and then tails over here, and then we can control what we do with them thereafter.
So you get rid of your heads completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the tails will go back in the next distillation cycle.
Yeah.
The hearts go into a barrel.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
whatever we're doing with it. Would you like to try a taste of the hearts?
Why, no, I got to get out of here, man, but I really appreciate your time showing me this. It's beautiful, but I got to drive home, so I don't need to be drinking.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a haul back.
Thank you, buddy. We'll see you.
We'll see you.
Yeah. I might be a country boy, but I learned a lot about distilling here today. That's got me to thinking.
Thinking, I'll be excited to see what Travis comes up with next. Join us next week to find out in Coomer's country.